jolly Sunday morning here in the Grand Hotel. Last 16 of pro event number 6. Jake McCartney from Australia versus Carl Sutton. Race of 7, match clock's got 50 minutes on Tony Holgate, and I'm joined by Nick Finn. Nick, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm in fine fettle, actually. Woke up early and had a nice breakfast. Well, I say a nice breakfast. It's a Grand Hotel breakfast, so there's not that much nice about it, but a bit of fruit and muesli. Wow. So. And here we go again for the final day. Well, I mean, it's the final day of the pro events. We're going to wrap things up today, but it all starts again tomorrow, because it will be the start of the World Championships. It starts with the ladies' shootout. It's televised all over the world, and then straight in on Tuesday into the World Team events. Everyone's on their way here. The Aussies are already here. We've got the Indians turning up on Tuesday, and the South Africans, people travelling from all over the world, Maltese, all coming to Blackpool. Poor them. There's better places to be, Tony.
I'm refusing to comment.
I mean, of all the luxurious places in the world, Blackpool. Is it now?
Good old British seaside town.
Yeah.
Fish and chips, kiss me quick hat and a stick of rock. You'll be all right.
I know. I mean, you're closer to the coast than I am by a margin, but I'm only half an hour.
That's because I live on a beach.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm only half an hour away from about 3 or 4 lovely areas. So it's yeah. I'm not a fan personally, but we're treated to some of that south coast. I think there's some lovely
no
places
chance
down
of
there.
you presenting Wish You Were Here, is there?
No, not for Blackpool. I tell you what it is. I've come here too many times over the last 10 years, and it's a 6-hour drive either way. It's like, put one on down in Bristol, eh?
6-hour drive? What are you driving? You've got that electric car and you the rocket thing. I'm an hour and a half past you.
I know you are, but every time I come up here, I seem to get stuck in a traffic jam. So I came across 3 blooming traffic accidents on the way up. 6.5 hours later we get here. Anyway, enough of that.
Right, Nate's going to stop moaning about everything now and we can get on with the match. There's Jake McCartney. Oh, nice little nudge there with the red onto the black. You see it still has half a chance here, probably a bit more than half.
Oh, he's got to pull off a big shot though, hasn't he?
Well, he fell out of position, didn't he, a couple of balls ago, and he's having to try and hang on in there in this frame.
Does he try and kill this and hold for the middle, or does he let the cue ball run up and take it long? He tries to kill it.
Brilliant shot.
Yeah.
That's a tester in the morning, that is.
Never.
And he's got a perfect little angle here as well, just to screw the cue ball over for the black.
At least he knows the table's just been brushed. There's not too many finger marks there.
Well, it's a lovely start from Jake McCartney as the Australian wanders back to his chair. 1 in front against Carl Sutton. Frame number 5. Man from Australia to break off, trailing by 2 frames. And he's going to go dry. And you just feel this could be fairly big. Sutton now looking to pull away as Jake looks on. Those dry breaks are an absolute killer. It always seems to happen when you're a couple of frames behind. You just desperately want to get a ball off your break to come back into this match, and then you get a dry one. And we've seen how well Carl Sutton's cueing.
I did talk about the consistency of the players during the first frame, and that really is borne out by the stats. If you look at Jake McCartney's stats, his 89 matches, he's won 47%, lost 49%, drawn 3%, 816 frames, 52% win rate, 48% loss. If you compare that to Carl Sutton, I'm thinking Jake was 47% win rate. Carl, 161 matches and a 57% win rate. 40% loss, 3% draw. And it, 1,530 frames, 55% of them won, 45 lost. So
I bet you're a laugh a minute on a night out, aren't you?
just to,
I'm joking.
It's nice to sort of. I mean, when I said the slightly more consistent player, I said that out of feel rather than based on any kind of numbers or stats. So it's actually nice that the stats do actually back that up.
Nicely played there by Sutton. In absolute A1 position. He was looking over there. You can see he's got a little bit of angle here. Just wants to sort of screwed back, but he was obviously looking to see if this red went past the yellow in the middle. I thought he might just screwed over and played it into the corner.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's playing this, to be honest. I mean, why not take the one to middle? Just stand across and take that red that he's playing now to top right. Everyone sees it differently, I guess.
Well, I mean, he's played it brilliantly, but I just thought it was quite a bit more complicated than I feel it should have been, maybe.
Yeah.
But
you were saying it yesterday, though, weren't you? I mean, sometimes you just get it fixed in your head. That's the way I'm going to go about it, and that's the way I'm going to do it.
And they first lifted the title in 1996, Australia.
Good knowledge.
I was on the commentary. What? Hello. Well, that was a bit of a. I mean, all Carl's breaks at the cue balls come all the way back to bulk, and that one was just a bit snatchy, wasn't it? Just straight into the middle.
Yeah.
We look at his face, pure disgust. He's mumbling. I mean, well, from this 4-1 lead he had, and he did have a chance to go 5-1, and all of a sudden he's looking like he's getting pegged back to levels. And the worst of it was that he did pot a couple of balls as well, including that cue ball, so it wouldn't have been a dry break. Not only that, they're fairly open, so it's a bit of a throwaway for Carl Sutton. Nicely controlled there by Jake. Now he's definitely going to have to leave himself a nice angle on this last yellow. For me, if he could get on the one at the bottom rail first, that would be ideal. Leave the other one. Obviously, didn't feel he could get right the way down there, so he's going to have to leave the one closer to the rail last. You want to get right behind that black ball. You don't want to leave it a distance.
It's horrible as well, isn't it? Just, excuse me, just above the knuckle.
He's playing a load of running side now and just bring the cue ball towards that centre of the rail on the left there.
Yeah,
that's very nicely done.
About as good as he could have been. When you're looking at the knuckle like that, though, it can just be a bit off-putting in picking the line of the ball.
Yeah, you just got to pretend it's not there.
Yeah. Nicely done.
Is the red going to get there? No, it's not. And Jake McCartney's going to have first opportunity. Just one frame away from a place in the quarter-final and a date with Arfan Dad. But it's not a gimme.
I'll tell you what, there'd be worse nights to have a date with Arfan Dad, wouldn't there? Just imagine that'd be quite an entertaining evening. He's pretty good company.
Wow, I didn't realise that yellow went straight past that red.
Yeah.
Now they are. It is pretty much a gimme. Yeah, Arfan's a great guy.
Yeah.
Well, see, we could talk about Man United all night.
And his sponsor is, I think one of his sponsors is Prashad, the Indian. I think it's a vegetarian Indian restaurant, and I've heard amazing things about it. I have to go and try it, but the trouble is, it's about 5 hours from me, so you're gonna have to get an invite from Arfan.
This is you back moaning about travelling about the place again, isn't it? We started this match off with you complaining.
This is true. Yeah, but it's food, not, Don't mind travelling for a good meal.
5 hours?
Well, maybe not.
Well, this is such a great opportunity for the man from Oz to park himself in the quarters. Just those two yellows in the centre of the table, they will plant.
Yeah, I'll certainly be singing Waltz and Matilda if he can get his way through these yellows.
Well, I don't blame him for getting out of the way of that plant. It's the second yellow would always worry that it would roll and stick on that other red.
Yeah, I like the way he's gone about them.
I come down and take the yellow at the bottom now, come out of there, and then I would like to take the left-hand side yellow first and leave the other one in the middle.
Yeah, just needs a little bit more run.
That's fine.
That's perfect, yeah. Just a little soft screw shot to hold the cue ball.
The main focus is leave yourself a shot at the black.
Yeah.
Don't try and be too cute.
Yeah. I mean, it would be, it should be fine anyway. It would be an absolute certainty if that red wasn't covering the path to the right corner. It just complicates things.
They'd have already been knocked in now, because I think that's
Yeah.
he just wants to make sure he gets so perfect on his last yellow.
Yeah.
Well, that's brilliant. Perfect. He can't snook himself now. He can just roll this into the centre. Cue ball just goes past the red. He's going to have an absolute tap in black. And it's going to be Jake McCartney, barring some sort of catastrophe that just are not going to get, that's going to be getting us into the quarter-final.
It's a simple game when you keep that cue ball on a string, isn't it? We were talking about the Phil Harrison thing the other day. It just makes life easier.
Well, down it goes, and a great performance from Jake McCartney. Carl Sutton, a little unlucky. He's had a lot of dry breaks there when he was leading 4-1 and an in-off. But McCartney, he's taken all his chances, and he's going to be into the quarterfinals.
And Luke then went on to knock out Liam White. Declan Brennan's come through nicely. Very good victory over John McAllister in the previous round. We will follow with a fantastic matchup. Christophe Lambert taking on Jordan Shepherd, two Pro Series champions. In fact, the whole top half of the draw are former Pro Series champions. That's how strong the top half of the draw is. The bottom, a little bit more open. Chris Day takes on Eddie Barker. Jake McCartney takes on Arfan Dad. It is only Jake McCartney in the bottom half of the draw that has tasted success with Ultimate Pool so far. We're underway. Simon Webb and Tony Holgate with you for this match. And a really interesting lineup, I think.
Yeah, fascinating how this is going to unfold. I was saying earlier in the last match when I was with Nick that it's very hard to pick a winner. Yes, Jordan Shepherd would be probably the bookie's favourite. Playing very, very well indeed. But, I mean, he's up against Christophe Lambert. I was talking to Christophe last night. And another man that says, I feel I'm coming into form just at the right time as well. So I think it's anybody's.
I think the four bookies' favourites are in the top half of the draw. Interestingly, really, obviously, Jordan Shepherd, he's been going very well. Christophe Lambert, he's won with Ultimate Pool. Declan Brennan won a couple of titles. He's the defending WEPF World Master. And obviously won the last event, the Champions League, and Luke Gilbert, who won earlier on this year, and he's been going very well. See some players in form in the bottom half as well. Arfan Dad's been going very well himself, but knocking on the door yet to have success. And Jake McCartney had success in year 1, but we haven't seen him for a while, so I just don't know how it's going to play out. That's what makes it exciting, but it is Declan Brennan with the first very tricky opportunity here.
Well, Luke Gilbert was in fine fettle yesterday evening. He played brilliantly. And like you say, Declan just on the back of his Champions League win.
Really good victory this morning as well for Declan. 7-2 over John McAllister, who's 2 titles this year for John. He's been playing some really good stuff, and arguably right there just behind Tom in terms of the Player of the Year stakes, but Declan's not too far behind himself. This one's gone wrong.
Yep. Not the bounce out that he wanted. There's nothing really there. He's not going to be finishing from this position. How many times have I said that? Somebody's cleared up.
Yeah, I think you're right this time though.
So just knocking the black safe and not making any attempt at all to go. There wasn't anything there. And it's a young man from Cambridgeshire. Hashtag Team Blessed, Luke Gilbert.
Big fan of Luke Gilbert's game, the way he goes about it. Already achieved a lot. Plenty more to come, you feel.
Yeah, very bright future for Luke. Winning pro events in his early 20s. Kind of feel you're looking at a future world #1. And
I find it really interesting actually looking at those sort of generational battles, and for me he's right there. There's 2 or 3 players with him, but he's achieved a little bit more as the sort of player of his generation. Obviously a lot of the top players right now, you know, are in their 30s, in their 40s. He's in their early mid-20s, and obviously we've got some stars coming through as well, younger than that.
if you look at Luke, though, you can see it in his eyes. He's got that steely look about just the way he approaches the table. He's very, very assured.
What I like, you know, obviously he spent time learning of some of the best players. You know, there's a lot of very good players in his part of the world. Former world champions, Phil Harrison, John Rowe, and also Dom Cooney, going really well. But I like his game. It's not. We see so many players, especially the younger players, that just can pop them off lampshades. They can come up with these miracle shots and they can make finishes. Luke has the all-round game. His pattern play is fantastic. It really is, and he can make the game easy for himself. He also has the shot making, and also he's part of Team Bless, so he gets the touch of run when he needs it as well. I'm not entirely sure how that pot dropped. I thought that missed by quite a distance. Best be kind and say he gave it every chance by playing it at pocket weight, but I have no idea how it dropped.
Well, he's left a little bit stuck out on that yellow. I'm pretty sure he's done enough to cover or stop that yellow at the top of the table going in. Declan not even bothering to have anything to do with that one at the bottom of the table. Nice shot there from Decky.
We're going to see an awful lot of finishes in this match. Lots from the break. These two players are too good for that not to happen. This frame is worth every bit as much as any break clearance. Both grinding hard for it. I think we might see Deck go here, because he might not get a better chance than this. He's obviously a huge second favourite in terms of the number of balls, and felt like he was losing this tactical exchange. As tricky as this is, he should be able to give himself a double on the 8 ball here. Looks like he's landed pretty plumb here.
Yeah, nothing to do with the cue ball. This is just a straight double. No side required. Down she goes. I don't think that one was ever in doubt. We'll have another look. It's a man from Northern Ireland. Takes the opening frame.
Just turns around to check the clock. See all the screens beep down, but until then you've got the big screen kind of behind the main camera, so, or underneath the main camera. Full view for the players.
I'm not sure he's got enough angle just to take the cue ball directly up. He might have to come back into the rearward side. No, I think he might be at the pinch a bit. He could. So he forces the cue ball up.
Bit easier to play that shot these days than the cloths you used to play on, Tony.
Yeah.
You'd be somewhere down by the yellows there.
Yeah, that's why I was initially looking at the screw backward side and zipping the way up past the 8 ball. Well,
I don't know if he can avoid the yellow here.
that's exactly what I thought, Simon.
I thought he was just going to drop it in and leave an angle to somehow get to the middle of the table.
He's got a bird's eye view of it better than we have. Oh, he could.
And he knew he could miss it, so played the last 2 shots really well.
Great shot there.
Excellent finish this will be. The shot to break out the ball at the bottom was absolutely top draw.
Very nicely done there by the man from Northern Ireland. There we go then. Chris Day, Mary Talbot double for me.
Okay, heard it here first.
Well,
Or if that yellow falls, oh it won't. If the yellow fell in the left centre, these reds would have been pretty good. I know the top left looks awkward, but it would have been solvable because you can flick the red and play the plant on the yellow red. But with the yellow sitting over the pocket on left centre, it just makes things tricky.
we should have a little look and see if that red he can play in further down the table off the yellow and free that ball. He has to take the reds, of course. Cleverly done there by Luke. Yeah, there's just that red. It's on the left-hand side that's free from the middle. He's having another look at it now. It will go in. It's just how far he can kick the other red away.
Touch straight here as well. Force this one out. Yeah, he's played a very good shot.
Yeah, nice bit of force there from Luke Gilbert.
I think he'd be slightly annoyed with the angle he's left himself here because he's straight and it means he's not going to get behind the one into the centre. So if he was to play it next, then he'd be going into the yellows, which he doesn't want to do. And if he decides to come down the table, then he's leaving it late.
He's a bit straight once again. She's never been quite in the right position through this finish for Luke Gilbert. Another forced shot. Oh, he's be going for this one into the centre next.
He's done very well. Quite just off angle on pretty much all the way through this visit. He's worked them out nicely and reworked them out nicely. Just needs to finish it off.
He's just checking himself there and just make sure he brings that cue ball past that yellow. Very nicely done. And what do you say, Simon? That's been a tasty little finish, really, because he was out of position for 3 or 4 shots in that.
That should just about do it. Oh, what a break. What a break.
Oof.
Forget about the match clock. Just make the clearance. He knows already, even if he gets back to the table, he just won't have the time he needs. I think looking back at this match, Declan won't be particularly pleased with some of the mistakes he made, but he also knows tournament pools for winning, and you can always improve and get better in the next round. Also, we've seen him take out 2 or 3 incredible finishes as well, especially a couple early on.
Winning ugly's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing one of the best young talents of the game as well. You know, you just take the win, especially when you put up the stats there that he's never beaten Luke. So this will be a big hurdle for Declan Brennan to overcome.
Kills it in. 8 ball for it. Declan Brennan into the Pro Series 6 semi-final. He takes down Lightning Luke Gilbert and he moves on. He'll play the winner of Christophe Lambert and Jordan Shepherd, who are up next.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Blackpool and this second quarter final. A contrast of stars here between Jordan Shepherd and Christophe Lambert. Jordan Shepherd wins the lag and gets us underway in frame number 1. Pretty good layout. Jordan was absolutely buzzing when we saw him earlier after his win against Sean Story. He's got another big challenge here against the French number 1. An early miss, unexpected miss. Not a total disaster. There's work to do on the yellows. That was an unexpected miss. And that really was the key to the frame. If he gets that one, everything's there. Now joined on comms by Simon Webb. Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, we're into the afternoon. Yeah.
Yep.
Good afternoon, Nick. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. I've just been in the Queen's Room watching some of the Tier 2 Challenger. Really has been good fun watching those guys. Really good standard of pool.
Yeah, the depth is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that room absolutely buzzing. There's every table in action. Ladies game going on in there as well. Fabulous to step across there now and again and have a look. And as you say, the strength and depth is fantastic. It's the the future of the game is in safe hands. When yesterday we saw the young 17-year-old Jaden Billingham win the Challenger, and he's going to be in the pro ranks for next year. And he's going to ruffle some feathers next year as well. You can just tell he's that kind of player. I've also been watching young Cohen Bradford. I don't know how old he is, but probably 14 years old, I guess. Playing an amazing game. Another deep run for him. There's so many youngsters, so much talent.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know how they do it at that age. I mean, Jaden yesterday just didn't look like missing. You think that final may have phased him slightly, but he was incredible. Such a young age. Amazing confidence and bottle to be shown. Just to stride through that final against a top player.
Oh, this is building up to being a really interesting finish. You keep thinking that Christoph, he played a brilliant shot to not open up the 2 yellows at the top of the table whilst making the combination. Just missed the cannon, but that's gone wrong. But it almost feels like a big pocket double. And I think he's still got high hopes of getting out here, even though it looks dead. Oh, he can see the one at the bottom. Didn't think he could get through here. And this is now a tough shot.
Just going to miss it.
Almost exactly the same twice.
Yeah. Not sure it would have had enough pace anyway. If he'd have hit it full ball, I'm not sure he'd have dislodged it and been left on anything. Just needed a touch more pace. Hard to judge the pace when you're playing it with a little bit of spin, sending it up the middle of the table. So what do we do here? Does the nearest one go long? Doesn't look like it from here, but that's what he's targeting.
Oh, that looked a clear foul. Well, it is. It's going to make it easy for the referee, the cue ball going in off.
Yeah. Yeah. That would have definitely been a VAR for our referee had that cue ball not gone in off.
I don't think... I mean, it would have been. I know that Trish would have come in and used the VAR and absolutely make sure it's right, but I don't think it was particularly close. No. That second over. Both players getting a good chance, or a chance. I'm not going to say Christos was a good chance, but both players having a chance in the opening frame.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad layout for Christoph, just that one problem area at the top of the table, and you expected him to deal with it. So Jordan would have feared the worst when he missed the ball initially. He's given a second bite of the cherry. He is definitely a player who will need to settle his nerves, because he'll be a ball of energy out there. That's the way he plays, and he really wants this. So
yeah, he's made no bones about it. His intent, the hard work he's put in for this 2.5 weeks or so.
She's the partner of another very, very quick player, Darren McVicker, who's one of the quickest in the game, playing in the Challenger Series.
It was Darren that did the maxi, wasn't it? Racking his own balls.
Yes.
Quicker than Ronnie O'Sullivan's fastest ever maximum break.
Yeah, if anyone ever gets a chance to watch that, it's on YouTube. Just put in Darren McVicker, fastest 147. I can't remember the exact time. It's about 4 minutes 20 or something. But he's racking his own balls. If you look at the comments on YouTube, it's like, oh yeah, it's doctored and so on and so forth. It's not. I mean, that is Darren. You know, and if you knew Darren, you'd know that was 100%. He is quite incredible. Spotting his own 8-ball.
Yeah,
makes a 4 minute 25.
It's almost impossible.
147.
It is almost impossible to do that. It really is ridiculous.
I think it was I can't remember the guy's name. There's a guy who organises a lot of games in and around Plymouth, where Darren's from, and he'd kind of set a challenge for Darren, sort of bet him 20 quid or something that he couldn't beat the time, and Darren had a few goes at it, got there in the end.
Yeah, very impressive. Obviously very different in way of doing it, obviously not at the Crucible, but I take nothing away, it's absolutely outrageous.
Yeah.
While we're talking about that, Christoph very quickly going through this chance. Perfect shape. Just to finish these off. Be careful with the one down the cushion. Does need to get a good angle on the yellow right centre. Just the red between the two yellows on the right hand side playing quite big. And he will be on the cushion, so it's going to be difficult for him to control coming back for the gap. So he'd rather go forward and get to the right hand side cushion. So he needs to get above the yellow. Has to get quite close to being blocked by the red. Yeah, he's okay. I think he can just pick the pocket enough to slide down the right hand side.
Ooh, too far.
Oh, he's fortunate.
He's had a good nudge.
Yeah.
If that slides by the yellow, he has no shot whatsoever. You could just see Jordan squirm in his seat for a second.
Yeah.
He'll hate that. He would have just thought, oh, I've got a chance, as he saw that cue ball.
I'm really surprised by the way Christoph played it. I thought he would just drop it in and let the cue ball just naturally drift.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have easily gone wrong. If it's a fuller contact, he pushes it towards the bottom cushion. If he slides past it, he has no shot. Super start from both players. This is shaping up to be a great match already.
Marion Junicuss, Lee Davis, I've already given you that score. Jeanette Baptiste 5-2 up over Becky Watkins, and Mary Talbot 3-2 down to Anne-Louise Arkle.
Cue ball agonisingly finds its way into that pocket, gets kicked in. That will frustrate him because it took a couple of, well, 3 kisses to find its way into the pocket. And look at the look on his face.
Yeah, disgust. Quite rightly as well.
Just touching on that very last result you mentioned, Mary Talbot, really good to see her in the latter stages. She came through a tough game against Harriet Haynes in the previous round in a hill game. She won the decider. Mary, of course, comes across from a snooker background. She plays snooker and Chinese 8-ball, and she's giving English 8-ball a go. Really good to see. Last time I spoke to her, she was, it was her first event, and she was kind of getting used to the dynamics of the cue ball and the table. She looks like she's. I mean, I remember she played Harriet Haynes in that first event and just came up short. That was a hill game. She lost the decider, but you could see that she's a class player. She's got that brilliant snooker stance, just classic. And you knew she was going to do some damage in this field at some point or another. She's in the last 16 with a good chance.
Yeah, knocked out the number 1 player. And he'll battle again, but every chance to go on.
I don't know if he played to cannon the red. Definitely didn't need to. I mean, that cannon could have only made the red worse. I think he must have been trying to come low of it. Can't have possibly tried to cannon it, surely.
It will still drop in.
Yeah, but I mean, it could have just so easily frozen.
Yeah.
On the cushion, which makes me think there's no way he would have wanted a cannon. There's a couple of things just going his way at the moment, which will frustrate Jordan. Things that could go wrong aren't. But, Christoph taking advantage, and rightly so.
Used it all, gave it every chance though.
Yeah, just pushed it towards that far knuckle. You can always tell when a player's concerned because they just pause and watch the ball, as he did. That's overhit by, well, it does actually pass the middle. It's fine. Maybe it wasn't overhit. Maybe I'm doing him a disservice there. Didn't think on first glance that it passed the middle. It clearly does.
That's against the Jordan Shepherd break, the reverse clearance. Christophe Lambert edges in front and has the next break, and his break's on fire right now.
Oh dear.
But he's still going to get to the table with a great chance. That was tough for Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah, that was horrible. Could have had a much easier layout there. And all he's done with that shot is open up everything.
Which is what he was trying to do, but he didn't get one to fall.
Yeah. I think that's curtains.
It would take a major error from Christophe Lambert not to put this one away right now. These are all here, but can't take it for granted, but they are as good as you could hope for.
I think Jordan can walk away from this game knowing he could be quite stoic. I think he's not done very much wrong at all. Just, I mean, really that one missed cannon / plant. There was a time earlier in the match where he had to pull back on a finish because it wasn't quite there, and those couple of breaks that went awry. And that really has been the difference in the match. But Christophe Lambert, take nothing away from him, he has been superb. He's gobbled up every opportunity he's had.
Brilliant stuff from Christophe, it really has. Both players have played well, but Christophe has been absolutely on point in this match, and is in the form to go and win another title the way he's playing. And with that 8-ball, he's into the semi-finals and a date with Declan Brennan in the semi-finals of Pro Series 6.
Chris Day against Eddie Barker. It's Eddie Batman Barker breaking off.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tony. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, and should be a well-balanced game. Eddie, another deep run. He's had a couple now. Chris Day's playing very well. Beat Chris Melling yesterday. He was.
He's my tip to win it.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you a story about that in a second. He was down and buried in his. Well, in his prelim match, he should have been put away by Dylan Leary. Sean Story was telling me yesterday that Dylan missed a 100 out of 100 finish. One that he described it as you'd put your mortgage on it. And he said to me last night, is his name on the trophy? Because after coming through that, you do wonder.
Well, it's not just that, it's the performance you're putting against Chris Melling for me, and then on top of that, to win 7-6 against Ian Alley straight after.
Well, I was about to say he was 4-1 down against Ian as well, so a massive comeback. I mean, he's going to be flying. And with no disrespect to Eddie, Chris will like this draw. Eddie will equally like the draw. They're not. With respect to both of these players, they're not up against Tom Cousins. They'll be eyeing each other and thinking they've got a really good chance here. They'll both like this. Eddie with the first chance at the table. Eddie just told me he was feeling cold. I said, cold in here.
There's a bit of a draft blown through from the front door that they've not been able to shut for about 16 years. And it's sort of, it's a bit breezy.
So we had a little cuddle just to warm him up.
Really?
Yeah. Lovely fellow is Eddie.
Because he cuddled you.
Oh, I've got no problem with that, mate. I'm in touch with the cuddling side. There's nothing wrong with that.
Depends what you.
Bit of a man hug. Lovely fella, Eddie. I was over in the one time I've ever been to Benidorm, went there 2 years ago, and Eddie Barker was there at exactly the same time on his stag do. Went out and ran into them in the, what's it called, the Silver Bullet or whatever it is, the pub over there. Wow,
Talking
what a
about
miss,
Silver
Eddie.
Bullets, you want one after missing that.
Yeah.
Yes, you didn't know he was out there. It was by chance, was it? You ran into him.
Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, there was an event literally the week before, and me and Eddie were just chatting as we do, and I said, I'm going out to Benidorm next week. He said, so am I. And it turned out that we were staying in hotels pretty much next to each other. Yeah. And I said, well, give me a message on Saturday when you're on your do, and I'll come out and have a drink with you.
I bet he was gutted to have you when he stag do. Giving him all the stats of pool.
I got some.
That brought the week down.
I got some pictures of Eddie in a pink cowboy hat, and that
was nothing to do with the stag do.
Yeah, that's just a normal Saturday night out.
That was last night. Well, this is what Chris Day did so well against Chris Mellin when I was on the comms. It was to take out these finicky finishes. He mopped up everything that Chris left him. Chris didn't play badly. A couple of dry breaks, and he had an in-off, a break. Every time Chris Day punished him. Well, just refusing that one, which you can see why, because obviously that yellow's a bit tricky down at the bottom of the table. So, cautious start from Chris. Well, that's not a bad result for Eddie Barker. So for that, planting Chris Day's yellow firmly on that bottom rail. We'll see if he can see it. Try and get over to the one over the bag. Must be tight because he's having to bend down and have a good old gander at it. Well, not an easy shot.
That yellow may have just come across that red, but he's still. I think he's still on the one to the left-hand side. I don't know if he can get past it or not. Just got a little bit awkward. Could have been easier for Eddie.
Maybe a little quarter-final nerves creeping in from these two.
Yeah, this is a tough one to take on, isn't it? Yeah, it wasn't there. Little safety.
Well, it's blocked the yellow ball into the other corner now, so.
Battle of the shiny pates, this one, isn't it? Who's got the shiniest top of the head?
Yeah.
It's between those two and me.
Playing lots of turnips, trying to hit that one. That's a great shot there from Chris Day. To punch it into the rail, play that little plant to get the cue ball up the table. Only shot he could play, and he played it to perfection. Now then, the first clear-cut opportunity for Chris.
Becomes a fairly significant frame, this as well, because there's just coming up to 7 minutes off the clock already, and it's obviously early in the match, but if Chris finishes his clearance, this is one against the serve.
This is the thing, another part of Chris's game in the last couple of days, his break has been phenomenal.
Just between, not quite far enough for the top corner and just a bit over for the middle, so he's going to have to navigate to the top cushion and out. Very nice pace. Judged it well. And it's going to be the first frame in 7.5 minutes to Chris Day. Snitch. I needed a sugar fix. That's what it was.
Look at that for a split.
Breaking very nicely.
Gumballs. Is that what you're eating? Wow.
Moan pinballs.
Are they?
Pinballs, yeah. Just pure sugar.
See how many sweets you can get through now before Chris takes out these reds.
I'd need a second bag for that.
Really? Well, we're moving into real danger mode for Eddie Barker should Chris get this frame. You know, obviously 3-0's a handy lead, but when you start to get to 4s and 5s and that, you're really looking for miracles. For me, I think Chris has just knocked this red in down here and then play the red that's next to the yellow next. Bring the cue ball round for those 3 reds that are all in the little line. And that's what he's going to do. Plays this with a nice little bit of right-hand side, come off the 2 rails. Black, we know, will go into the bottom left-hand corner. In fact, it probably sneaks into the right as well, but I think he'll probably play for the left if he gets that far. We'll see through his finish. So it's a bit more available. That looks pretty good. Take the little nudge. Suggest the middle one of the 3 reds now. Screw the cue ball back a little bit and nudge into the red above it. Try and leave it into the top corner. Right. Elected there to go up the table. I'm not so sure about that. I think just a little nudge into the other red would have left it pretty easy with cue ball not travelling anywhere. The danger of this is, you know, if you get too thin on this shot, you're then chasing the finish.
Yeah. Should be okay, but the 2 yellows would be in the natural path of the cue ball, so...
Well, you got the choice. You could go into the top corner, screw back down, have the black in the middle, but yeah, you've got to, like you say, Nick, he's got to come out there.
And they are in the path. Well,
Poor.
It was. He's got away with it a bit. That could have landed a lot worse. If that cue ball kicks off to the left, then he has no shot whatsoever. He's got a half ball pot here, so...
This is all because he didn't play... When he played that red at the middle of the 3, he just plays a little stun, kicks into it, or just screws out, and he's never in this position.
Yeah. You still fancy him to get this, but as I say, it could have been a lot worse.
It's one of them. It bit eating your mind that he probably thinks he's gone the wrong way now, and it could... Well, okay then. Not bothered. I was going to say, when you leave yourself in those sort of positions after having a pretty straightforward finish, you can start thinking, why am I here? I shouldn't be playing this shot. I should be having a nice straight, easy black. And you... Nice split there for Barker. Not quite as emphatic as his last break, but then I don't think we'll see one of those for a while.
Nice little insight into to Chris Day. A little message from Greg Batten saying that Chris's improvements come from a lot of practice with Tom Cousins, and obviously his break is huge at the moment. Those 2 factors seem to just turn his game around at the moment. He does look great.
You would think that though, with practicing with Tom Cousins do you any good, because all you'd be doing is racking the balls up for him.
Well,
joking.
Sean's story on an interview yesterday, I actually listened to it this morning. He was saying that he'd been practicing with Tom a lot, and he said he's stopped doing it now because he said it's an hour drive there and back, and he said that the last time they played for 4 hours, and he said I got my hand on the table 12 times in 4 hours, and he said I could do that in 20 minutes at home. So he said I started practicing on my own at home because he said I can get more quality at home practicing on my own in an hour than I can 4 hours with Tom, and it's 6 hours out of the day by the time you've driven there and
Why
back.
not make
it's
Tom
a great
drive
fact.
to you?
Yeah, well, there you go.
He's earned that right. He's earned that right to play his practice at home.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's a great point.
I'd never drive miles and miles to practice. What's all that about? Local pub. Not doing it. Pull cloth covered in beer stains. Play for 10 minutes. That'll do.
This is good character from Eddie. He's 5-1 behind, and a lot of players would have let their shoulders slump by now and maybe think it's a bit too much of a hill to climb, but Eddie fights on. It's this 8-ball. Yeah, finds
Cue ball.
He's okay. That's going to... Oh, is it?
I'll be Keithley.
Keithley, yeah.
I'm
never sure how...
You'll have a lot of Yorkshiremen having to go at you, especially Chris Melling will as well, if you say that,
Really?
that's where he's from.
I was never sure how to pronounce it.
Keithley, lad.
Keithley. Well, it makes more sense when you say it with the accent. Yeah, anyway, it's Jake McCartney versus Half and Dad next.
Well, I don't think it's going to be too far away, that match, by the looks of it. As Chris Day has this frame and the match at his mercy. We already know which his last red's going to be. No prizes for guessing that one.
Yeah,
so it's the 3 balls up here.
Got to say though, another very, very nice run from Eddie Barker. Just coming up short of a semi-final, but he keeps having these deeper runs. He really is starting to make inroads this season, and he can take a lot of heart again from a very, very good performance. It's only a matter of time, I think, before Eddie gets himself into a final, and he just needs to take heart from that. Stay on the practice table, keep your arm in, take your chances when they come. But for now, it looks like Chris Day all the way just needs to navigate this last couple of reds. Just needs to get the pace right on this one, and that looks absolutely perfect. He can just plop this in, hold the cue ball where the red is, and the black is awaiting.
Well, it's been a sublime performance from Chris Day. This black for a place in the semi-final. In it goes. And Chris Day beats Eddie Barker 7 frames to 3, and he's been good value. 4th and final quarter-final here in Blackpool. Jake McCartney versus Arfan Dad, who has just broken off and gone dry. So I'm Tony Holgate and Nick Finn's here with me still for another bout of Ultimate Pool.
Yes, indeed. Jake McCartney, first chance. It's not the best of kisses, but it's okay. He's going to have to make another cannon now. Just needs to judge this one well, otherwise he could be on nothing. A little bit hampered too. Oh yeah, played that nicely.
Lovely shot there from Jake. We just saw Chris Day go through into the semis, and the winner of this will meet Chris in that semi-final.
Nice angle for Jake, but he's only got half a pocket to work with here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Rolls it ready on into the left-hand corner. Leaves that little angle. That's where he wants to be. He can just pop that in, kick into the yellow. Easy black in the corner. It'll be first frame to the Aussie.
Nice start. First frame on the board goes the way of Australia. Jake McCartney. Cue ball, cue ball. Ooh. Ouch. All the way up and back down. So often that cue ball, something would get in the way of it. Look at the yellows coming, reds coming across the face of it. Doesn't hit anything. All the way down into the pocket. Oof. Half and shoulders slump. Taking probably a tough opener here, just because it opens the table up. Just that one single shot. Everything's there. Open the frame.
Thinking whether he just pots this into the middle and wanders the cue ball down into the black ball, sit on the yellow into the middle.
Yeah, I think he has to. Just a bit too much angle, isn't there? No.
He's not going to.
Surely.
Oh. That was close.
Jake McCartney, what are you doing to us? Oh.
Down it goes. 3-2 now. To the man from down under. That looks overcut to me.
Yeah, didn't have the pace either.
Yeah. Off that goes upstairs, knocks these two yellows apart.
That's a lovely cannon.
Yeah, we'll take that. It's got a nice little angle to get on the yellow that's on that left-hand side rail. Should he wish to.
Not the best of layouts. Two balls at the bottom of the table. There's no real link ball. Probably the one closest to the middle, which left this one on the left-hand side. So he's gone after that one early. It's not a bad layout. It's just that, you know, you just need to work the cue ball a little bit, don't you?
To me, I think I'll check this into the centre with the cue ball, bring the cue ball off just up from where that yellow is over the bag. If you leave that angle to come down through the gap of the two reds, screw down the table, leave yourself in the gap between black and red, game's over.
Yeah.
So there he's left his angle now. He screws between the two reds in the middle of the table, wants to land centrally between black and red at bottom of table.
He's looking at coming down this side of the table. I see this side, I mean the right side.
Yeah, it's as good as.
Yeah. Can hold on the red. Didn't want to push the red too far.
Well, this is why I like the other ways, because you're playing the other yellow at the bottom of the table last, and you're screwing back for the black in the middle.
Yeah.
He's played that very well. And in she goes. Not so sure.
No?
I'd like to dig this, I think, a bit. Dig it into the black. Oh. Well. I have to say I would have played that sort of shot anyway, you know.
Maybe I'm just, it's a bit thinner than I think it is, but it just looks to me that you can glance that in and send the cue ball side cushion, bottom cushion across to the right cushion, go nowhere near the 8 ball, and don't risk that shot. Don't risk that. I mean, it's unlucky. Of course it's unlucky.
It was all because he'd overdone the shot into the middle. Well, these yellows staring Jake in the face.
Yeah, it looks like game, set, and match here.
It's the Aussie moving closer with every yellow to a place in the semi-final where he will meet Chris Day.
Looks like the Aussie rules.
Straight yellow now into the centre. To run the cue ball through a bit. And it's going to be Jake McCartney with his simple black ball. In it goes, and Jake McCartney from Australia. He beats Arfan Dad 7 frames to 3. And a good performance there as he shakes hands with Paul Clack. A couple of fans in the crowd.
Yeah, this will be Meg's. Meg played at the Euros for the England team, but this will be her first Worlds as part of the team.
Yeah, she was in Morocco, but not part of the team.
Yeah.
I was not even watching. To be fair to Emma, she has. The reason we're a couple of minutes late getting going here, she has literally just finished, as in her match in the previous round came to an end about 4 or 5 minutes ago. 7-4 victory over Sharon James. Tough schedule for the women's series today. It's back to back to back to back basically to get through.
Yeah.
Definitely an advantage for a player that can get through quickly. And Megan's been through pretty quickly. She was first player into the semi-finals and been waiting around for an hour or two.
Yeah, I mean, for me it can be the waiting around that kills you, but actually I think when you're coming from an outside table onto the arena table, it's a bit of a difference, and a break can be beneficial. But I mean, Emma's done this so many times before, I don't think it'll matter at all that she's just come off the table.
Touch short if she's playing on the one on the right hand side.
I'm not sure she was. I think she was trying to hold for one of the two in the middle, but still a chance.
Not to be. First chance goes for Emma Cunningham. Megan played 2 matches out on the TV table last night, so fresh experience of playing on this arena table. Spoke to her briefly as she was just going out there. Does play differently, and it takes a bit of getting used to, and also the occasion. Last night was their second semi-final and second final.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I speak to Meg quite a lot about it, and she said she always feels very nervous out there, but it doesn't show for me. I think she always looks pretty comfortable out there whenever I've seen her. It's a decent shot, to be fair, I'm thinking.
Yeah, my take on it is that it's probably just the natural variation of playing on this TV table over the main table. I agree, every time she's played out there, she's always looked comfortable.
Yeah.
And she's such a clean potter of the ball, but just loses the cue ball a touch on the TV table.
Yeah.
Which is a common theme. Just about okay, that loss of turn. They're full sight of these yellows, but I don't think Emma can get through to the top left. So what could you do with these 2?
Oh, I'm sure she'll see like a treble, plant, 17 cushions.
It's the plant pot in the right centre, but that's worked out well for Emma. She'll take that.
You say that, but if the red goes, that's been partially covered by the 2 yellows, I think this is a chance, because the one on the left is on the cushion is quite an easy double.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think one does go top left, doesn't it? It looks guarded from our main camera, but enough room to get to it. Oh, she's trying to move the red, and that's no good.
Yeah, I don't think there was any need. I mean, personally don't think there was any need to try and move the red, but we all see it differently, so.
Certainly not easy for Emma, because she's put the 2 yellows dead. But try and open it up on this first shot.
It looks tight past the red though. She's trying to play cushion. Okay, it flew.
Yeah, but playing it that way, it didn't feel like it was going to really. Had to be quite pacey for me to.
Yeah.
That makes the shot a lot harder, whether that was possible.
One of these camera angles makes it look a lot easier to bump this second yellow out than the other one.
This is a challenge us commentators have.
Didn't even go for it. Can only assume it didn't go because it's not like Emma to not be aggressive.
Just about the most aggressive player on the tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Try playing doubles with her.
Yeah. Very entertaining when you 2 are playing in the pairs together. You still talk about that night on the Pairs Cup last year. Felt like you should have got through.
Don't you remember it,
Don't
to be
remember
honest?
it. Just remember you 2 should have got pulled out some brilliant finishes, and just felt like it was your night to lose, and
we did.
And it got away from you.
Yeah, we play. I wouldn't have minded a bit more separation for our doubles draw this year. We go basically from the worlds into the doubles.
Do you?
Yeah.
I haven't looked past the world, so we've still got
still
got a ton of
way
time
to go
here in black. Well, slightly slow start here. This is a perfect opportunity for Megan Proctor now to get this frame on the board. Complete control of the frame. Wrong.
Yeah, it looked a little bit straight for me. If it wasn't comfortable to punch out, there was an option just to play the snooker and kind of top through behind the other red. But she must have felt she could have got it out. But the one by the black does still go if you want to be aggressive. I know long potting is generally very, very good.
Yeah, as you said.
Didn't jinx her.
No, you didn't. No commentator's curse. Hammered it in. That was the hallmark of the semi-final victory early on. Just kept on knocking in really tough balls, leaving awkward 8 balls actually, and just kept knocking them in.
Yeah.
And then hung on. Plenty of angle, which is ideal.
Yeah. Just make sure you miss the yellow and you have a shot. Perfect.
2 or 3 more rolls would have made it unmissable, but should have been happy with this.
I think the way she's played the white there, just round off 2, is a sign of how confident she is in her cueing, because if you were feeling a bit nervous then, you could have just rolled it in, because you didn't need to be below the centre line to cut the black in.
I didn't see the breakout shot, which is what I think Emma was trying to do.
Yeah, which surprises me, because Emma doesn't miss many doubles.
She's very good, isn't she, at the doubles?
Yeah, brilliant. So probably the best doubler in a women's game. So yeah, surprising shot choice. Maybe the only thing is that I think this is her first game on the arena table, and they do play a little bit different to the outside table. So pace if it was harder.
He is tracking. Okay, now's the time, Megan. Comfortable enough with the plant?
Yeah, I think I'd probably play down for it now and leave the one off the table as a bit of a safety net, but it just depends which way you see it.
Looks like she's going to leave it for the last 2, which can be a risk.
Nothing wrong with that. You just got to make sure you get the pace right of the plant and not push the first yellow out.
Oh, no, she's going to play the plant. Oh, she's playing the bottom one. That's a surprise to me. So that tells us she doesn't like the plant.
Yeah.
To the plant. The problem with this is you're playing on a moving ball.
That shouldn't be moving too far, should it?
No. Hopefully.
Okay, she played the snooker. I don't think she went for that at all.
No. It's worked out very well. No.
Is it not fairly easy?
Well, if you come off one cushion and if you get the loss of turn, yeah.
You're leaving then a difficult yellow. I think I'd have put it all in to go for the plant, because you should cover the bag anyway if you get close to the plant. I think I'd have gone a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, exactly as you called.
Yeah, I can still see the shots, just not play them.
I think your trophy cabinet's doing okay. So this one's going to get away from Megan then.
Yeah.
Big missed opportunity to go 2-0. Similar feel to yesterday's semi-final for Megan in terms of just tough coming from the outside tables to this one and settling in. Such a big occasion.
I think his commitment to the game really shows.
I think his patterns are brilliant. I think the way he goes about it. Huge fan of Jack. Struggles a little bit transitioning from one game to the other now that he's sort of multi-sporting it, but that's natural.
These reds, I mean, even yellows look good, but these reds here are there. Just pick your route and back yourself.
Oh, the first shot, a little bit fortunate.
Yeah, it's okay.
You said earlier on that Meg had a couple of flicks, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Emma's got one here. Keep an eye on the match clock. starting to tick down. Plenty of time for this visit, but just keep an eye if Emma doesn't get out. It could get away. Megan can allow it to get away if Emma doesn't get out here. It makes this visit huge for her. That's not the greatest.
Does it go in the corner, this one she's closest to?
It'd be tight. Maybe play it off the yellow.
Yeah. Only thing I would say about that is you're coming away from the right angle for the reds.
Oh, she can see the one at the top of the triangle area. Oh, she thought she could. And she couldn't. Well. Not left anything easy on, but Meg should be able to weld Emma behind these yellows at the bottom.
Absolutely. Has to be the shot.
It's a bit of a stretch. I think that's why she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And at 15 seconds a shot, felt she didn't have time to go and get the rest. Excellent pot though.
Yeah, great chance now. That little flick on the yellow.
Yeah.
This is delicate, but if you get this, then you're big favourite to get them.
Yeah, it should be on a choice of balls after this one. Oh no. Big moment.
Yeah. As mad as it sounds, you've got to be a little bit careful about how you get onto this one in the middle of the table. Potentially just drop it in and leave the cut in the middle rather than try and get perfect on it.
Yeah, there's acres of room to get onto the 8 ball. Yeah, she's tried to force it.
I think I'd have been rolling it in and just taking the shot on the red because, like you said, you can't go in off because of the yellow over the bag, and you can't not be on the 8. It's but 15 seconds absolutely fries your brain.
Just pulls up. It's not the yellow awkward. It had to move it because it already didn't go. 4 minutes 28.
Is she on the one at bottom rail or is she in the jaws? I think she's on it. Okay.
Just too straight. Really needs to leave some angle on this yellow to bottom right.
I think now I'm looking to get the white to the middle of the table, bump the yellow over the one over the bag and hide the other red behind the yellow.
She's going to try and force underneath it. She actually had more angle than I thought. Just got into that a touch too much. If she gets the cue ball near where the red is, then you can play the long plant.
Yeah.
Now she's in a...
True.
Well, I suppose it depends. Probably has to take this on, this yellow.
Absolutely.
The cue ball should track back behind the other one. Well, I think the 6 red shootout has just become a huge chance. Emma Cunningham 3 balls away from tying the scores up.
You're going to say you're one of these people that loves a shootout, aren't you?
They're dramatic. Depends on I don't like it all the time. It depends on the tournament and the format and where we are. That was a very good shot from Emma. Not as easy to land on that as she's made it look.
Whose break is it in the next frame? Meg break first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Meg's break next.
3 minutes is plenty, isn't it, for a finish?
At 2:59 is enough time if you make a ball. Very good break. Best in the match, but it's dry. So it's going to be Emma Cunningham with the opportunity.
I think it's a good chance as well. I think you've got the perfect ball to nudge into the yellow and open up the one top right. Just got to find the gap here. You've got to play a decent shot just to get through the gap of the yellow and the black.
It's now a good chance for Meg.
And she's left the angle, I think. Punch into the yellow, leave the one.
Big mistake
Top
from Emma.
right. There, that was a very good chance. I think Emma will be frustrated.
You can almost take the match clock out of your mind here because it's 15 seconds a shot. It almost has to take care of itself. Just keep half an eye on it, but the 15 will keep you on track. But this is all there. Lifted all. Pocket weight.
You feel bad as a player when those drop, I think. And
Yeah.
it's the same for everybody, so
I'm
it
with
is
you.
what it is, but you do think, God, of it that bad. She's come a little bit too far, I think. She's been looking to leave kind of like the other angle just to put the white in the middle of the table, but still okay. Yeah, that's fine. Play the plant now.
Oh, left herself awkward, or no, she can get to the centre of the cue ball.
I'd have been tempted to punch that and try
Yeah.
and kind of almost play to make both. But like you said, she's okay.
Oh no, she could time foul here. Wow, she's done very well to hit that in time, and she's on the red. Wow. Even had time to put the chalk down. Just launch it somewhere.
I'm not sure that's a happy smile on Emma's face.
Little bit short. But this 8-ball is essentially for it.
Where's the white going? What do you do with the white here?
I think
Try
it's
and
going
clip
straight
the
into
yellow?
the yellows.
Great shot.
Brilliant.
Great shot.
Emma was going to come forward and shake hands. She's going to go through the formality of the break, but she needs to break the world record to get back into this match. Has to be ultra quick. Oh, she's got a chance.
It's not really a chance,
Oh,
is
and
it?
I think that's
Looking
going to be a
at
foul
her
anyway. The match is over. There wasn't enough time. Megan Proctor, for the second time this weekend, gets herself into a Women's Pro Series final. She'll hope to go one better, but that was a fantastic clearance to get her into the final. I'm sure you'd rather be out there, but nice to have your company all the same.
Well, I've got to put my time to some use rather than... It's no good trying to play pole at the moment. It's not been a good weekend so far.
A long couple of weeks ahead, though. So.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we go again. So...
Jeanette with the first break. Nothing lands. Both these two have just come through some tight matches. Kirstily over Lyndall Vine and Jeanette over Mary Talbot. Both of them deciding frames. Long drawn out affairs.
I actually saw the deciding frame in Kirsty Lee's match, and she took out I say a great clearance, but when you think it's 6-all and you're under the pressure, but she's literally took out a complete clearance and made it look really easy. So she's obviously cueing well, because I think she had some good results yesterday in Pro Series 5, didn't she?
I think the only thing left really for her at the moment is just to find it in the semi-finals and final. I think she's been playing some brilliant stuff all season, and for a year and a half to 2 years she's starting to track back near her best.
Yeah.
But just for whatever reason, I mean, yesterday in the semi-finals would have been one of her worst performances for a while. She'll be really distraught with how she played. And
I think the problem is sometimes, as we know, sometimes you're too desperate to actually get that first event win, so to speak. So it could well be that she almost literally wants it too much, and she's putting too much pressure on herself. Because obviously we're all used to the arena now, we're all used to the cameras, and she can certainly perform. There's no question about it.
When she won the mini-series last year, beating Harriet in the final, she was absolutely fabulous. Just blew Harriet off the table with finish after finish. And you know that she's been putting the time in, and she's been working hard, and she wants it as well. She wants to get back in the mix, and she knows the game is there. It's just frustrating when it doesn't quite come out on the bigger stage.
I think that happens to everybody, really. I mean, I remember having a conversation many moons ago. You think of how successful Sue Thompson was in the ladies' game, and yet she feels like literally out of all of those 11 world titles she won, and all the years it was being put out on various TV stations, she actually says out of all of them, she actually only felt like she showed what she could do in one of them.
Yeah. I having commentated on a lot of matches, with players saying the similar thing. don't always play your best, but
No.
it's about winning.
Well, she's getting off to a great start here, Kirsty.
Yeah, that was very good.
She's actually just come out of the England ladies squad, but she was with us at the World Championships last year in Morocco.
Yeah, played in the team. So she's not in the team this year.
No, she's not in the team this year, but she's definitely not.
That was a good shot. Not quite landed, but good vision to try and get rid of that yellow over the pocket whilst making the red to open up the chance.
I think all she's got here is a planet, isn't it, really?
Really awkward, horrible plant.
Yeah.
Might just get through to one by the pocket. Probably not.
She might be able to. That's a great shot.
It's an exceptional plant, but it's not to red awkward. This chance is going to get away quickly. The last visit was so clean and clinical. This time it's going to be a tough one.
I'm not so sure, because I actually think the red that's the highest of the two that's on the right hand side, if you can leave a double for that to then literally just bump the yellow, and I think that's more than possible from the balls that are remaining, and I actually think she's going to do it now. I'm not so sure she wanted so much angle on it as she's got, but yeah, maybe take this one. And now she's got too little, I think, has she?
Looks quite straight, doesn't it?
Although, saying that, if she actually just pulls it back a little bit, she might be able to find the gap to be able to cut that down. Oof.
She had it perfect. Well, I say perfect, the red might not go, but misses the double. So
She just tried to pinch a little bit at the pocket there. I didn't know she just pulled it back a couple of inches. She might have been able to still cut that down the rail.
the gap wasn't big, but it might have been there. So we get to see Jeanette have a chance at the table. First one, really, in the match.
I'm sure she would have wanted a bit of a nicer layout for her first visit, but she's cued that one really well. Really well. It was perfect.
Bit of a stretch.
She's playing that well.
Thought she'd just mistimed it for a second, but it just reached.
Everything's a bit of a stretch for our Jeanette.
I'll let you say that.
I don't know exactly what her height is, but I think she wouldn't mind me saying she's probably, in terms of pull, vertically challenged.
Excellent shot she's played there, though. Found a very good line.
This is a great finish.
Especially considering what Kirsty's done in the first two frames to stand up and make this. It's, you know, if this was the first frame, we'd be saying it's a very good finish, but to do it 2-0 down, and the way she's gone 2-0 down, very impressive. And Kirsty will be hoping to change it and turn it around.
Yeah.
Well, first non-golden break of the semi-final. Very good break, though.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you'll be celebrating those.
Wow.
Or getting frustrated.
Or
getting frustrated the other way around when it's your opponent.
Oh yeah. Well, be the golden duck for me.
The yellow goes bottom right.
I think
I
it
like
does.
yellows. If not, you've got the plant on the reds and go reds. Both good. Oh, Reds was the choice. That could be the end
Yeah.
for Jeanette.
She looked like she was just stretching slightly on that shot.
Frustrating game.
That's most people after every match. And
Yeah.
They say, I'm not playing again, I'm never playing again, and then they're back tomorrow.
You do see a lot of that
Yeah.
in one way or another. Hope for Jeanette, because that's not the best of shots from Kirsty Lee.
That's the worst shot we've seen her play in the match, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I actually thought she was just going to play the simple plan and then use the one that was still over the pocket to get onto that one awkward one. But
Well, that helped. I didn't realise
I
that went into the middle, so it
Neither
actually
did I.
landed okay.
yeah. Although she's still got a bit of work to do, because I don't think...
Well, the plant goes in the middle, but she can only play the plant from high. Where the red's not going to move if this is a straight plant, and the cue ball's going to the bottom right corner of the table. She may not be on the next red.
Can she screw it back? Yeah.
Almost take that. She's on the red, but it's really awkward to get onto the 8 ball.
I think the only option she's got is top right, and then screw it across off of the left-hand side rail for the black into the right centre or the right top pocket. But this is a difficult shot. Oh,
Got into it too much. She's trying to avoid the cannon and come round it off the cushion exactly as you called it.
I think the double, she's got a big pocket. She's got a big pocket. She can afford to go cushion first. Not like that though.
No.
Sort of slid off there, didn't it?
Much wider than she was expecting. So, does the comeback start here? Not sure what the foul was for there. Don't think it changes the outcome. In terms of it's still a very good chance for Jeanette Baptiste. Let's have another look here. Might be the hand. Oh yeah, clearly. Yeah, there we go. I was looking at the 8 ball and the cue ball. I was like, "Where's the foul?"
How did we miss that?
It's moved the yellow about a 1.5 feet. Not sure of what that says about my eyesight. It took 3 replays for me to see it.
Whoa, slow down.
This to stay alive.
Great doubler.
You're not doing your former teammate any,
I'm not.
any
Commentator's
help with the
curse.
commentator's
No.
curse here.
I do think that if she drops, she can avoid. She'll be just catching the jaw. She can avoid the in-off with this one.
All gone quiet. Very good. Brilliant shot from Kirsty Davies, and a very impressive performance. Very different to the semi-final yesterday. We are turning our attention from the women's series to the Pro Series. And a really interesting lineup for the semi-finals. We've got 3 former champions and Chris Day, who was a World Championship runner-up a couple of years ago. Declan Brennan, Champions League champion, gets us underway, but it is the former Pro Series champion and the French #1, Christophe Lambert, with the first chance in the match. Based off their quarter-final performances, I'd make Christophe Lambert favourite for this match, but based off their seasons, I'd have Declan Brennan as the favourite for the match. And the reason I would say Christophe is the way he broke was absolutely top draw, and he did not make any mistakes out there, whereas Declan survived a couple of mistakes in his quarter-final.
Yeah, Christophe's been really impressive in the last couple of rounds. Like you say, some Declan Brennan coming off the back of the Champions League win. Looks in fine fettle, but yeah, he had his opponent was giving him a few gifts in the quarter final, whereas Christophe took his match by the scruff of the neck. Christophe looking very purposeful out there in his.
It was interesting, actually. I interviewed him after his quarter-final victory, and something I'd noticed, he said he's completely changed his cue action due to an issue with his back, and it's
really,
yeah, and he said it's so unnatural to him, the way he's having to remind himself to do it. It's just starting to come. But fascinating to hear that insight.
I mean, you will see just before, if you don't see, a lot of people don't see it at home off camera, but he does have a little stretching routine before he plays his game, actually, a proper old limber up.
Yeah, I think that's all to do with the back.
You know, bend down, touch your toes and all that. Not that I'd attempt to try and do that. I'll be back up again for a week. I mean, it's not as if he doesn't look after himself. I mean, he's very trim. A nice little bump there from the red. Impressive stuff from the Frenchman.
Yeah, that was a lovely little outcome for him, wasn't it? See the famous Christophe Lambert shake.
Yeah, the sportsmanship in and around and amongst the professionals is top notch.
Cue ball is going to get a little helping hand, but it was tracking. And, well, and how often has 2-0 that should have been 3-0 become 2-2?
Feels like every time.
It does feel like it's happened on repeat. That's exactly what we're looking at here. Declan Brennan with a very good chance for 2-2.
Red ball's in play.
Shouldn't be any reason why Declan doesn't complete the reverse clearance here. They are all on, and they're all in a very nice position.
Changed his mind.
Really surprised he left the one down the table. I know he had more angle than he wanted, but just expecting him to still take it. He's worked himself back down there nicely enough.
Yeah, no dramas here. It's the simple stuff to do.
And it is 2-2 reverse clearance for Declan Brennan of the Champions League. Obviously, the format that's set up much more likely to have a 6 red. I do not anticipate us having one in this match in any way, shape or form.
No chance.
Cue ball.
Black ball.
Oh, it's a golden break.
Will be next week.
It will be tomorrow.
Tomorrow, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I lost a day somewhere.
Yeah. I hope you turn up tomorrow.
I'll be here. Don't you worry about that. Looking forward to that.
World Team Shootout gets underway tomorrow, where this would have won a frame. Unfortunately, counts as a dry break in the Pro Series. Slightly controversial rule that I think a few players and certainly pundits, Stephen Jameson, on the side of believing that Christoph should be at the table here, but I'm absolutely in camp. This is the right thing to do. It's 15 balls on the table. Although it does feel harsh to make the 8 ball and call it dry. I do get it.
Uh-oh. We certainly didn't want to land there.
Worst shot that Declan's played in the match.
Where does he actually get safe? Try and double kiss into the yellow, so sort of push the cue ball onto that red that is next to him, glue in there.
Well, if you can't see a safety, you just try and cut the ball in at the top of the table.
Yeah.
I think you can see the centre of the cue ball. Oh, we can see the one in the middle.
Oof.
That helps, but it's still not easy.
That's a fantastic. Oh, been unlucky. Great pot. Trouble is, when you're bridging over like that, you cannot control the cue ball at all. What he's done there is he's removed both those, well, that yellow there, and also kicked the one out of the way, so he's opened up the route for the reds as well.
Yeah, that couldn't have come out worse, really. Look away in disgust for Declan. I think he knows, barring something very untoward, it's going to be 4-4.
And the frames are coming in a little burst, well, a big burst for Declan, really. So if Christoph finishes this, he's won 2, Declan's won 4 in a row, and then 2 in a row once again for Christoph Lambert. He's a bit straight on that. Droider wanted a tiny little angle to be able to remove the cue ball from the bottom rail.
Yeah, potentially just puts a little bit of pressure onto the 8-ball. Yeah, he's not happy.
No, he's 4-3 down. It's not, you know, if it's...
It's just not a
2-3.
comfortable shot.
No, it's not. I hate them. He's made an attempt there to get it away. So a little tester here into this centre. Try and level the match for Christoph. So he sets himself. And he's played that nicely.
Here we go then. Big moment in Pro Series 6. Declan Brennan's break has been inconsistent. He needs it here and now. Oh, it's his best one of the match. Best control of the match. And, oh, it's not good. It's not good.
I think you get to that red into the left-hand centre.
I mean, yellows have got to be the set here, haven't they, apart from the one at the top, but you've got to cue one in. I mean, reds are tough at the top of the table. He's going to get to the one right at the bottom, so yellow's a little bit easier at the bottom of the table. Oh, he's going in the middle. Okay, it's not a disaster. The 8-ball still drops in the centre. It's how do you deal with the yellow at the top and then get back onto the next ball?
Right, has to get there now. He's got his angle, cuts this up the rail. Bit of left-hand side to bring the cue ball over. Hasn't got to, well, I'm going to say he hasn't got the rush, but it's 15 seconds a shot, but you know what I mean. That's a brilliant shot, or is it? No, it's going to be okay. It will nudge off that red. He's on the shaking head. Don't say he's glued to it. No, he isn't.
No, he's okay. It's just a bit awkward. I think the natural's in off.
Let's play that really, really well.
Oh, fabulous shot. Fabulous shot.
And this is over a minute and a half, so he's...
Yeah, but it's exactly what we talked about at the start of the frame. He can't run the clock down enough for it to be a free hit at this 8-ball, and it won't be an easy 8-ball under pressure.
Well, that's perfect. That's perfect to drag the cue ball back. But it's going to be such a delicate little hit. He wants, the idea what he wants to be right behind it, dead straight. That's good. That's really good. You couldn't ask for a better position than that, really.
And this
You'd
is
rather be coming at this angle as well.
This is it. And in it goes. What a match. Both players treating us drama all the way at the Northern Irishman. Declan, the Destroyer, is into another final. It is CD, Chris Day, taking on the former Pro Series champion, Jake McCartney. And I'd say two players that maybe we wouldn't have picked at the start of the tournament as being in the semi-final here, but it shows the strength and depth. Jake McCartney playing his first tournament of the year, and Chris Day is kind of really making a really good run for the first time since the World Championships in Ireland a couple of years ago. Both players have played brilliantly to get through to this stage. Played some high quality pool, especially Chris Day when he knocked out Chris Melling. The level of pool he was playing at, the way he was breaking. And it's a tough one to call. Very evenly balanced. Simon Webb and Tony Holgate still with you for the duration of the tournament.
Start off with a nice little double there is Jake. Also good position so he can cut this yellow back into the corner. Didn't want that brush off the red though. And there's the first little mistake. He's left himself absolutely nothing. The only thing I can possibly see there is playing the yellow into that red straight in front of him. See if he could bump it into the middle, but I think he might have to play it because I can't see any sort of safety shot. Well, that's a pretty good shot. I didn't see it because I'm absolutely useless at safety.
You're not a big fan of the safety, Tony. You just want to go, don't you?
I like it. You know, I find it joyous. No.
Do you think you'd have enjoyed, joking aside, do you think you'd have enjoyed this rule set more if you were back?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This would have suited me down to the ground. No thinking, smash them all around the table to your heart's content. Skipping back to my seat after making a massive mistake.
No more being tortured by somebody that's playing the negative side of the rule set.
No. No, I'm a big fan of these rules. It's a great change that they made a while ago. Makes for exciting viewing. I mean, there's still safety shots there, and it's a different type of safety, you know, but you're progressing the game with your safeties. It's got to a stage where, you know, I'm going back quite a while, but you could have an hour of pool with nothing happening, and it's just, well,
Yeah, not good for the spectator at times.
no, it wasn't.
But take nothing away. If you enjoy playing it that way, that's fine. I get it completely.
Well, it ended up with Paul was watching paint dry.
Say what you mean, Tony. Say what you mean.
Paint was watching Paul dry, whichever. But this is many years ago, so
Yeah.
thankfully we're beyond that. But well, some funny old shots out at the start of this match, Simon.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a semi-final, doesn't it? Both players have played great through to this point, but slightly edgy opener. I said at the start of the semi-finals, whoever won the first one would be the favourite in the final, whether it be Christoph or Declan. But it means very little in these matches. But they both played brilliantly in that semi. Really treated us to a high-quality affair. But it's the mistakes in the middle that create the drama, isn't it? There was just enough on both sides that just made it really entertaining.
We went to play the loss of turn there, did Jake McCartney. Went to knock in Chris's red, but it's left it hanging there, and Chris will now have first real opportunity.
And to really dig this one, just to hold the white. Oh, he's done it too much. No, pulls up in time. Good shot. Prime then for CD to take this opening frame.
Lovely shot there from Chris Day. Super control. Lands perfectly in that little gap there with the three reds. I'll take the middle one now. And this first frame looks dead and buried, and it looks like it's going to go the way of the man from Suffolk. He's got Slight angle here, we could just punch this out. Both reds in the same bag. Black, you think, will be sailing into this bottom left-hand corner. Nicely done there by Chris Day.
Ryan Fleming's been doing with good success. It's the same break. Oof. That's not success though.
Yellow ball's in play.
It's all very tight and fiddly, and it's all going to come down to can he get a good angle on the one in the centre to get at the bottom of the table. He's okay here to drop this in and get on the one top left. Getting back out onto the next yellow nicely is not easy.
Depends if you just chip this yellow in at the top and bring the cue ball off the two rails and come down. Just land in near that other centre pocket, that's where he wants to be. Leave him a little angle to roll down the table. Obviously the yellow on the bottom rail will be his last one.
Attention call.
That's a nice flick. That's a well-controlled shot. You have to feel he played that in that way.
Yeah, clever shot.
That was really well struck. Very easy to leave that one short. You're going to get through the ball nicely for that. Mistake punished by Jake McCartney. An opportunity, perhaps off this break or a miss or a mistake. If Jake keeps him down, you can see this one getting away.
Oh, so does that plant go with those reds? But it's got an easy one over the top left-hand centre.
There's work though everywhere, isn't
Yeah.
there? Red and yellow together.
Well, that was important if that plant goes there because he doesn't have to shift those two.
I'm not sure. I think it could be made. It looks awkward though. Looks like it's set right on the jaw.
Yeah. Well, a refusal.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that, and I like it at 4-1 up. I really like it, and it's probably the right shot regardless of the scoreline. But the worst thing you can do there is chase a bad finish, get 3, 4, 5 balls in, and not get out because you're giving Chris Day that gift you want, and that's where I quite like the decision based on the scoreline. If it was 0-0, maybe you could make the case: is it worth going? But don't give Chris Day something easy.
No. No. The thing is, when you're 4-1 down, you think you really need to quickly get frames back. So Chris is going to be the one that's tended to take more chances.
And maybe he is here. Creative way of getting into it and taking reds. Maybe he just wants to take reds and then he might control a tactical exchange.
Not really done anything there, Chris. Just checking out yellow passes between the two reds into that top corner. I feel he's going to play something to develop the three yellows.
Are the plants on? If that yellow that does go that he's next to top left, this is actually a genuinely good chance to get out.
Wow, I didn't believe that went. I was looking at the overhead earlier and I thought that doesn't go. I thought the red was in the way, but it does. Well,
you have to say it's a poor shot from Chris to leave that.
Well, if he gets out here, Jake McCartney, that's a massive, massive kick in the backside for Chris.
Didn't quite leave enough angle to get across, so had to really force it. And now he's hampered queuing, and this is obviously tight and awkward with what's going to happen with the cue ball. Bumping the other yellow on.
Yeah, well, he's going to bump the other yellow into that red, and it'll just really, you think it's all he's going to do is leave the yellow on the cush and push the red over towards that corner. This is quite unpleasant. Yeah, it was low percentage.
I sort of got away with it in terms of made a right mess of these reds.
Yeah, and the yellows are still all very easy, so...
Where's the safety for Chris? Yeah, scratching his head. I'm not sure what you can do with this as well, Chris. It's a clever loss of turn, but it's just gifted Jake a chance. I mean, that looked super low percentage to not leave. You know, he was gambling a little bit there not to leave something on.
I don't think he had any other options at all.
No, I don't. He was in a world of trouble there. And Jake got very fortunate with his leave.
Well, one good positional shot here from Jake. He's going to have a very big lead. Played it with the side. He didn't mean for that little nudge, but I'll be tempted to play the double there. Can obviously cut it in, but it's quite tight. Going with the double. Played it nicely, screwed the cue ball back as well for the black. Well.
Take with the break. Maybe try and wrap this up straight away. Take the drama out of it. He's got the chance. Good break that from Jake.
Extension call.
Good cue ball. breakout shot at some point.
Got into that a bit too much.
Yeah, that might be end of chance.
Just eat a bit more of the clock then.
Yeah, it's all good for him. We're inside the final 5.
Not a bad visit really for Jake.
Nothing really Chris can do, just contain. He's
Yeah,
not
I
in a
think we
bad.
get tall order now.
Yeah, he's not in a bad spot in his frame unless Jake comes up with a very good finish from here, but can't afford it to be dragged out. It has to be immediate. There's only 4 minutes left.
Yeah, you feel that even at the worst case scenario for Jake, this is going to take a couple of minutes to even win this frame for Chris Day. That would leave 2 minutes to get 2 frames. He knows he's going to have a go now. A super double.
Do you think you could squeeze that plant? Looks way off.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not for that one. He'd almost need to be on the bottom rail with a cushion to try and make that. I think he's got to play the double back plant into the middle and crash into the 2 yellows.
Very wide, very tough shot, and with that, perhaps his hopes of a turnaround have gone.
Yeah, I'm afraid that looks like the end of Chris Day's run. Jake's going to just roll these 2 reds in at the bottom. These are guaranteed.
Another look at the tricky shot that Chris had. Had to chase something, because just couldn't afford for it to be dragged out. That may well be his final shot here. Pro Series 6. Jake McCartney 2 away, although this takes some queuing in.
You got a bit too much side on that one there. He wanted to come the other side of the yellow really. Have to screw this back a bit. They can draw like that.
Two minutes left. 3 frames. It's not going to make any difference here. He's going to try at least.
Cue ball.
Oh.
How's that stayed out?
No idea how that stayed out. Well, Chris might take that opportunity to shake Jake's hands. He knows he can't turn it around.
The eyes have been gone now.
But he's doing what he thinks is the right thing and letting Jake play his shot.
Well, yeah, I must admit I wouldn't have bothered to see out this bit. The
Yeah.
torture.
Both players know it's a strange situation.
Yeah.
Both players know. He has decided to shake hands now. Chris Day finally concedes defeat. Jake McCartney gets the job done. He moves on to another Pro Series final. Declan Brennan awaits in the final. And Jake Starr is in to take him on. Megan Proctor, Kirsty Lee Davies, they have squared up already this weekend. Yesterday's semi-final, it was Megan Proctor that got the victory into the final. Came up short against Harriet Haynes. this time. They're battling it out in the final. Simon Webb and Amy Beecham with you for this one. And do you think yesterday's match will have any bearing on what's going to happen here?
I don't think so. No, I mean, I guess it's quite. I didn't see yesterday's match, so I guess was there any bad?
Well,
was it good standard?
I would say in terms of Kirsty's level that she can play at, she really dipped early in the match and allowed Megan to get off to a flyer.
Yeah.
And I think it was more to do with, I mean, a bit of both. Megan played well and Kirsty Lee played poorly. And then it switched and Kirsty Lee was just too far behind to claw back into it.
I think potentially for Kirsty it's less about who she's playing and more the fact that she's not won one of those main yet. I know she's won a mini-series, but she's not won a main event yet, and she's easily good enough to have won. So
yeah.
I think it's potentially more a factor of that than who she's playing.
I think that the early part of the match for Kirsty Lee is important. If she can get off to a solid start, take out a finish or two and get herself in front, I think she could run away and fly, because her A game is so good.
Yeah.
And that's how she won the semi-final. She just played a really good level and got off to a really solid start. She took her first two finishes out and she was away. And if she gets off to a slow start, maybe yesterday's match and previous semis and finals will come back. She has been in the final already this year.
She has a good chance here.
Yeah, a really good chance to get going with her first visit here. Get the cue ball back out into the middle of the table.
Yeah, I mean, can you avoid the yellow, or do you play the one into the top corner now?
I think you can. Hit it well. Oh, she's going straight up, so she obviously feels she can't.
Yeah, I think that was the right choice. Maybe landed a little bit awkward in terms of stretching. Yeah.
Extension called.
Cue ball. Oh, I thought that was about to take the dip as well.
Yeah.
A little fortunate there. Getting a little trickier here at the back end than I was expecting it to be for Kirsty Lee. I thought she'd fly through this finish the way she played in the semi.
When she played for the one down the table, just ran on an extra ball or two, didn't it? And stretching, you're always struggling then to control. That's a very good shot. Again, overrun a little bit, but I fancy her to knock this in.
Yeah, very nice. Tough 8-ball though. Decided just to roll that in and give herself every chance of the pot. I mean, she's off the cushion and from distance. Big shot, I feel, for Kirsty Lee in this match, just to get going. Oh, right in there. Very good.
Yeah, this is horrible because you're hampered on both, aren't you? You almost need to play the more difficult one for position, I think.
Yeah, with you there. Really got into that really well. Could have done with being an extra foot further up the table.
Foul.
Oh, she makes the pot, but foul's been called. Must have hit the yellow on the way through.
Yeah.
Really good pot though.
Yeah.
Let's have another look.
Yeah.
Yeah, just feathers it.
Extension called.
She's taking her time to work out the route she wants to go.
Yeah, I was just trying to think whether it was better to get rid of one of the yellows at the top of the table and use the other to connect to the 8 ball, but I think the red makes it a bit awkward. So I think I like keeping both there.
Yeah, I think gives you more margin for error when you play up from the bottom as well.
Yeah.
Should underhit that one a little bit. I'd have liked to have been kind of flat on the bottom rail, but still okay. Yeah, good shot.
Touch straight here. I'm going to work the cue ball. Does well.
Yeah, she's played that really well.
Very well controlled shot, yeah.
Is she thick enough on this to hold the red? Yeah, perfect. Good shot.
She's worked the whole finish really well.
Yeah.
Very steady, under control.
Yeah, and I don't think she's got the initial route she planned in her head, but every shot was still very makeable. She's not made anything difficult for herself. Yeah, well done.
And the last player that made both finals and lost, Stevie Dempsey, turned up at the very next event and won it. So
Yeah.
bear that in mind, Megan, if you do go on to lose it. Although she'll try here. 5:38. Cue ball in hand anywhere on the table. But 4 frames in 5:38 is some going.
Yeah.
Yellow ball's in court.
Didn't really want that.
Bottom cushion plant.
It's
in the
close,
top
isn't
right
it?
corner, yeah. That's the shot for me. It was close.
Ball in hand.
Just tried to give it a ride.
Yeah.
Nothing doing though. And it's a bit of time wasting
Yeah.
job here for
absolutely.
Kirsty Lee. Slowly go through this one. Little bit straight here, but it's not really the problem. Just run the time down.
Yeah.
Great pot. I think she's relaxed here. I think she knows.
Yeah. And I think it'll be a weight off her shoulders as well, because I think she's had a few near misses, and
She also knows how well she can play.
yeah, absolutely.
It is a race to 8, so this isn't for it. But it will get her to 7 and have a lead that will not be able to be pegged back.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Meg gets up for a handshake here. She'll know in her own mind that the game's up.
Well, they're celebrating like it's a victory, but it isn't. Not yet.
disturbance in the crowd. Have we had that before? Protesters?
Probably. The cut break certainly worked for her, a little bit too little too late. But she started to make some balls with the cut break. And credit to her, she is going to try and run around the table here and make a fast finish.
Yeah.
It's not going to go her way, but she can take so much from this weekend.
Yeah.
And she has decided to concede at that moment, and that is it. Kirsty Lee Davies has won her first title with Ultimate Pool on the Ultimate Pool Women's Pro Series.
Let's make some noise for Kirsty Lee Davies.
Two former champions, Declan Brennan and Jake McCartney. It's Northern Ireland, it's Australia. And we are underway. Declan with the first break, and he has the first opportunity. Simon Webb and Tony Holgate on comms for this one. Messy opening chance here for Declan. 50 minutes race to 8. Big title on the line.
Yeah, nice little shot there from Declan. That's that little cluster just in the middle of the table that's going to cause any problem. Can Declan Brennan add to his recent Champions League win?
Yeah, it'll be title number 3 with Ultimate Pool for Declan Brennan. He also has the WPF World Masters. He's the defending champion next weekend. That was also shown on Ultimate Pool TV. Jake McCartney, he won one Pro Series event in year 1. He's been away for a few months. First and only tournament of the year for Jake McCartney. And well, what a story that would be for the big Aussie to take down the title.
As you've seen where he wants to be, he can fire that yellow into the right hand centre after this one that's over the bag. Won't want to leave that one till last.
Yeah, just use the red to hold.
Also shift the red out of the way so it just creates a path to get up to the black off his last yellow.
It looked messy, it looked fiddly, but he's been very efficient in this finish. Looks on it here, Declan. I mean, it kind of shouldn't be a surprise. He's played very well to make it through to the final. But he's starting very sharp here.
Barbara Taylor there, watching proceedings.
Yeah, England's captain next week. Oh, tomorrow in the World Team Shootout. There's Declan, completes the job. Huge. And messy. Huge and very messy. I'm not seeing a finish here at all. Take yellows and play a loss of turn, if you can play the one along the top cushion.
I think that's a good idea, actually. I think he's been listening to you.
Yeah,
He's got an earpiece.
I'm in his ear. I'm in his
I
ear.
was going to say. Just puts him that one shot ahead of Jake McCartney in his frame. He's just seen how much pocket he can borrow here. Where he wants to put the cue ball. He wants to push the cue ball onto the lip of the pocket. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he has left sight of a red, but he was always going to. It's an excellent shot.
Just firmly put Jake McCartney on the spot in this frame.
Extension called.
Drake trying to find a safe area of the table. Ties up reds while playing that shot, which is a downside. Hasn't left anything easy on, but he has left a shot on.
Well, he's left that yellow into the centre, I believe. Well, I'll tell you what Declan thinks of it. He's now looking at the black already. So he's
that's a good sign for Declan, isn't it? He's eyeing up where's he going with the 8-ball.
Shot there by Brennan. Well, that black will double pass that red into the other middle bag. What we actually see, Declan could come down the table, get the right angle on the yellow that's on the black spot. If he could cut that in and use a cue ball to buffer the red out of the way, you could have it in a corner where you could even hit the red into the black, not that over the middle. These are all very complex things, which you probably won't do any of this. He'll just knock these two yellows in and double it in the centre and have done with the frame.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just take all that out of play and just back yourself to make the double. First things first, land on it nicely.
Exactly what he's doing. Wants to get the cue ball far enough over. Doesn't want to leave this short. So the double comes wide. That should be okay. Yep. I like that. That's my sort of favourite double angle there.
Yeah,
Not dead straight on it. I like to be able to
when you level
cut.
with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sort of back doubling it. I find that I'm with you. I feel it just feels a little bit more comfortable.
We haven't got to pinch it. If you're too far the other way, you've got to start hitting left hand side into it and digging down. Straight middle of the white. Just make your pot.
Right in the heart of the pocket.
Like that.
What an excellent frame of ball that is from Declan Brennan. It's not all about break clearances. It's about making a ball off the break, controlling the frame, good loss of turn, good clever play.
Especially if your name's not Tom Cousins.
Yeah, well, he's on 3. 3 this year, 10 in total. Great break.
Red ball.
He needs to look at a red here. The reds are lovely. Can he see the red along the bottom cushion? I don't think so.
I don't think he can. I think he's blocked off all over the place with that red.
And it might be very difficult to find a safety here. I don't see where do you play safe?
Well, I think all you can do is rub into that red that you're next to.
But wouldn't it be so dangerous to leave the red bottom left on?
Yeah, it's almost as though you've got to play absolutely dead weight to leave it touching ball and cushion at the same time to stop him getting through to there.
So he's going to put the red on top of the yellow and try and get the cue ball to the other red. Yeah, he's left sighted the ones at the top. That was so tough for Decky.
Yeah. And he's not blocked that red and yellow. The red still goes into the bottom right. So Jake McCartney's going to have an opportunity. He's just came round to just double check that red goes, so he knows he hasn't got to come and move it at all. So it'll be the plant first. Played nicely, just bouncing the red back out again, the second red that is.
Sort of feels like a first visit chance here for Jake. He's not doing a mop-up job. I know it's not straight off the break, but they are all there. And just needs to work out the pattern a little bit more, be a little bit more precise, working it around and when all your opponents are off the table.
Well, he's on that awkward, sort of, well, say awkward red at the bottom. The one that Declan tried to tie up after his break shot. But I think half of him wants to go up and get rid of those two reds at the top of the table. But it's almost as if he feels compelled to knock that one in as he's on it.
Yeah, I think that's right though, isn't it? There was the only one that was going to be slightly awkward to get onto.
Yeah.
Bit of a stretch, but in prime position. Keep this fairly simple. That's not so prime, but I suppose he's coming down the table before up. I thought he might play for that in the centre and drop it in, but makes more sense to come down the table and then go back up with it where the 8 ball is. Could have done with being a touch closer to it.
I'll be tempted to play double, you know. I like those sort of doubles.
Extension called.
Then again, I like him like that now. He's got perfect on it.
Yeah, I like it now, yeah.
I just, in the back of my mind, I was imagining if I played the red down the bottom like Jake did, but softer and left a poor angle. I think I'd be then telling myself, I was saying I should have played a double and I was bang on it. But Jake knows what he's doing, and he's going to get himself in front of it.
Yeah, great shape all the way through that visit, really. And he's in front. His first real chance with all the balls out there and mops them up. Gets the break right this time. Gets the break very right this time. But, well, he's got a chance. It's not an easy opener, but he's got a chance here.
Got a red near that middle bag, so if he plays that yellow over there, it's it might help it in.
Extension called.
Can he track down on a good line, though, and hold? Oh, he's going down for the long straight one.
Yeah, he's not risking position. Oof.
Oh, quite a wide.
See, again, me, I'd have slapped that ball if it's I'd have
Punched
played
it
that.
in.
Yeah.
Extension called.
Declan has the chance then. He's right in amongst them.
Well, he's played that shot nicely. It's at the right side of this yellow that's just beneath the black, which he's going to, I would have thought, remove from the table next.
I don't think that's the greatest of angles. Yeah, he's going up the table. In which case, it's probably with all the way he was always playing it, actually. Thought he was playing for the yellow right centre, but that would have made getting onto the next yellow awkward. Up the table means he can just play the screw shot into the red and hold it nicely. Picked a very good route.
That's exactly what it'll do, Simon. Now we just stun the cue ball across and play the black into the right hand centre. And we'll be back level once again. And she goes.
It's back
Nothing
and forth,
to separate
isn't it?
these guys.
It's back and forth. They keep going off each other's break as well. You keep thinking Jake's going to get, when he gets one in front, you're thinking, right, big break, get the clearance, get you two in front and start to, push forward. And Decky keeps coming back. Doesn't help if he's dry though.
Ooh.
Jake McCartney will get a chance
Yellows.
to win the title.
Mind you, there's a case of reds. You can see a red. You could, might actually be the reds, to be fair. You can go through the two yellows and pop the red in that corner. My immediate reaction was yellows, but then I think I favour the reds now.
More importantly, Jake prefers the yellows. He's just okay.
Well, the balls are there for Jake McCartney to lift the title. His once a year visit.
Some story.
And tonight there's been no blunders from the man from down under. Straight plant into the corner.
It's all looking good. Wow.
How far's he pushed that yellow?
Is there a twist? I'm surprised the way he played it. Oh, he was just going to be quite controlled, just pull it back a few inches. Potted it into the side and it's kind of sent the yellow to the side. What a recovery pot.
Again, the recovery pots.
No movement from Declan. Oh, he can't be on the potting angle.
Well, it's either a double or it's three cushions into the middle. I prefer the three into the middle because he's dead straight on that.
It's close. It's not going to drop. Declan Brennan has a reprieve. 5-14.
How fast can he fire in these? He's not going to really belt round the table, but pretty sure it's Jake's break though, the next frame.
It is Jake to break next. Big sigh from the big Aussie. He knows that was a good chance. He was in prime position with 3 balls to go. Could be some late drama in this one. First things first. Declan's got to get this counter. Might just pop the red into play. Don't want to be playing those reds down the cushion at this stage. Oh no. Oh no, that could be the end of it.
That is the end of it. There's no way that Jake's missing this finish. Well, that was a bit dramatic there at the end.
Just too many missed opportunities for Declan in the final. And Jake McCartney has this for it. And in it goes. Jake McCartney is a Pro Series champion once again. Spent plenty of time away from the tour. Comes back for one weekend and one weekend only and walks away with the title. What an impressive run through the field for the big Aussie. His second Pro Series title. Amazing scenes.
Your Pro Series champion, Australia's Jake McCartney.